Welcome to the RC block. I'm Jamie Nitro and I'm just going to go through this Howin L6 engine here. It's a very nice engine. I'm very pleased with the overall quality of the workmanship of this engine. There's just a few things that we should know when we're building this engine. Always try to build from the center out. It is a long block, so it's very easy for things to bind up while you're building. I'm pretty much going to build this exactly as you would build a Ford 300 engine. It's basically the same engine, so why wouldn't you want to build it like that? Very cool. There's a couple things that I've done on this. I'm also going to be doing that too. Just before I get into what I've done here, I'm also going to be doing that on the bottom side, working through the center and working your way out and tightening everything from the inside out. Do that with everything you do. That way you will have less chance of warping parts, and it's just the proper way of doing it. Now, just to go through a couple things, if you have something that doesn't fit on nicely, before taking a tool and banging or heating or something, take a close look, get a magnifying glass out if you need to, but maybe it's just a little burr. As in the case with this tiny little gear here, there's just a tiny little burr right on the ID there, and it's a little bit hard to see, but by taking a 82-degree bevel tool in there, I was able to just easily 10 seconds, boom, cleaned it right out. Makes it now, instead of being difficult to go on the shaft, it just slides right on nicely. No problem at all. Slides right off, no problem. Just beautiful. I've also done and polished all of my, these are my valve spring covers, and this is what your rocker arms actually push down on to open up the valve springs. Now, in the machining process, there's actually a little nub in the center of these from when they machine or mill it down. What you want to do is you want to get rid of that nub. That little nub will actually go onto your, when this guy is pushing down, it will actually cut right into there. And on the toy, and when I didn't take that down in the first place, I noticed after like a couple hours of running, I already had a nice little notch cut into my rocker arm. So right away I said, okay, I'm going to be polishing that. I did that to my toy and polished all of these, and I haven't noticed any more wear. So it really goes to show you those little things that you do in this engine in the first place is going to go a long way in the end for the longevity of this engine. Also, just to make sure, there's a note that when you're going through this engine, you check and debur everything, go over every single machined surface, edge, feel it with your fingers. What I've done on this is I've gone through and I've already cleaned up all the spark plug threads. I've gone and cleaned up everything, deburred every single hole. As you can see, there's a nice little bevel on everything. It's a very beautiful piece of work. I could never build something like this for the price they give you, not in a million years. So yeah, and these are the pieces here that they just go on top of here. So you want that to be nice and polished, so when it's pushing down at all those thousands of RPMs, it's not causing more damage. So just a couple things to watch out for there when you're installing the pistons. You want to do the same thing as well. You want to start from number 3, then do number 4, go to number 2, then number 5, number 1, and number 6. When you put the first piston in, tighten it down, rotate it. Put the next piston in, tighten it down, rotate it. Then you go to your next piston, tighten it down, rotate it. And you do that through all of the order that you're going to put these pistons in. If you follow that order, you will have less chance of binding, and hopefully everything goes together smoothly for you. This block here does have the oil return holes in there, which is good. Uh, Dennis had some problems with his block where he actually doesn't have those holes drilled, and I was surprised when I saw it on his video that they weren't drilled. It's not very hard to drill. If you have a drill press, you can, with the right drill bit, go in there pretty easily and just drill that hole out. And then in doing that, I mean, really, looking at his block there, it would take no time at all for him to do that, and then his block's ready to go. It's unfortunate that you have to do that when you get a beautiful engine like this, but sometimes there are some things that are forgotten. For example, when I was building my Howin engine here, Howin, they had made a mistake when they had made these here. These are for the carburetors, and they drilled them in the wrong position. They should have drilled it here, and they should have drilled it there, and then that would make all of these nozzles sit the right height, and they didn't do that. So I mean, sometimes you're gonna run into some things, but you got to remember that there's a lot going on in this engine. I mean, the amount of processes and steps just to make this block would blow your mind if you knew what it takes to do it. So it's pretty impressive that they can get a motor like this out to us at a pretty reasonable price. So I'm stoked, like you can't believe, to build this. I'm going to be having a few drinks and staying up most of the night probably, and at least getting the lower half of this engine built tonight, and we'll work on the rest of it tomorrow. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Here's a good look at the engine, and I hope you liked it. Just please, if you do like this, subscribe, like the video, and I hope you come back for another one. Have a great evening. Thank you. Take care.